outside? Should I run and hide? How do I take my company worldwide? Do you love the law? Did you watch Hee-Haw? What's the weirdest thing that you ever saw? What's it like in court? Favorite sport? Can you help with my book report? Is my hair too long? Am I right or wrong? And do you mind if I sing along to anything? Ask Alan anything in the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Ask Alan, the podcast. I'm Alan Crone, the CEO of the Crone Law Firm, and I've got a very exciting guest with us today. Friend of mine, go to church with Chuck. He is the owner of Landscape Aficionados, Chuck Pitts. Chuck, thank you for coming on the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Alan. Good to see you.
Well, great to be seen, as they say. Well, tell us a little bit about Landscape Aficionados. It's one of the premier landscaping firms in Memphis. And how? What exactly? Do you have a niche? What exactly do you do?
Yes, sir. We're geared toward landscaping, outdoor living, hardscapes, pergolas, kitchens, outdoor living, patios, and things. Landscaping is always something that has to finish the product in my mind. Without landscaping, it's never complete. So artificial turf has really taken off quite well. Putting greens with LED lights, it's pretty cool.
My son Charlie has been bugging me for years. We have this area in my backyard that he says would be perfect for a putting green. I always but you can, I guess you can do like an artificial putting green so I don't have to mow it every 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Yeah, artificial, no watering, no chemicals. It's green all year. Just a basic blower, just blow the leaves off and should be fine.
So how did you get into the landscaping business?
Well, I grew up in the landscape community. As a kid, my mom was involved in landscape here in Memphis. And so I started work over there one summer in the nursery. I was about 14 years old. And I just always liked being outdoors and liked the landscape business. It was always something I was interested in. I've been mowing yards since I was little, and it's just something I've always been interested in.
And how long have you had your own company?
Almost 4 years now. It's 3 years, 9 months. I just noticed on LinkedIn the other day. So we're thrilled.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it would seem to me, and this may be kind of obvious, but I guess the pandemic has been good for your business.
Well, it's been good. It's had downs, materials costs, gas, everything of currently, but outdoor living has seemed to certainly expand. More people at home and more people wanting to go outside to entertain or just be around the outside. But yes, I would say it's been good and bad, but certainly.
Yeah, I've noticed that the alfresco dining options in Memphis have not only increased, but it looks like a lot of restaurants have really leaned into that and put a lot of money into that. Have you been involved in any of those that you can talk about?
No, sir. Not of any of late, no.
Are you primarily residential or you do commercial too?
We do commercial, but primarily residential. And focusing on outdoor living, outdoor space, and walking out the back door and having a nice area to either enjoy or entertain.
Yeah. What's the coolest thing you've done lately?
Lately, we did a nice install in Germantown. We went to a project and it was just a basic, just had a pool in the backyard, but nothing else around. And we were able to come in and work on the drainage, set up all the irrigation system in the back, and then came in with a full design plan to install landscape. And further went out and built a fence around it and a fence around the pool equipment area. But but it turned into it was a great project. Very proud of it.
Very cool. I have a friend back in the day that had his wife wanted the house, and the backyard really was almost went straight up. It was on a like an acre lot,
Right.
but most of it was straight up of the acre,
Sure.
of the acre,
Sure.
particularly in back. And he had somebody come in and do a lot of terraces and cutouts, and kind of turned it into kind of a Shangri-La looking thing. And it really takes somebody like you who can get the vision of, well, I know it doesn't look like much right now, but we can really make it into something for you.
Sure. And I got a lot of help, Alan. We use several designers that help, and they come in and draw a plan, and then get it to the crews out in production, and they come out and install, and that's when it becomes reality. So a lot of help though. These guys are extremely talented. Very lucky to have them.
What is the kind of the new cutting edge element that you're seeing more of these days that maybe you haven't seen in the last few years?
I think the artificial turf, for sure. Landscape lighting, the outdoor element of being outdoors and entertaining, and even front yard for privacy and or not, but for protection, safety. So if a house is well lit, typically it's not going to be tried to get messed with. We live in Memphis, so
right.
Lighting is a huge deal. Artificial turf has taken off. Putting greens and hardscapes. Hardscapes is really, really, really big right now. A lot of people are wanting patios and pavers and designs and fire pits and pergolas and fireplaces. So yeah, and all through the fall and winter, which we're here now. That's ideal time to get something like that set up. It's not as hot outside, and then we don't do a lot of planting in the fall, obviously, but a lot of things become dormant, the mowing season and all. So patio outdoor living is it's becoming to be really big, not just for us, but for several other landscapers around. It's picked up.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny, we have it at my house. My house is kind of an L shape, and so in the middle there's a little courtyard, and I'll bet for the first, we've lived there probably 15 years, and for the first 13 and a half years, I don't think I ever went out there. But with the pandemic, particularly towards the end, where I just kind of rediscovered the idea of sitting outside and take some lights out there and that sort of thing. And I probably need to call you and do something with that area, because even in the heat of the summer, if you put a fan out, it's still very enjoyable.
Sure. And we've got pergolas you can put extended fans on, recessed lighting, TV mounts. You can get real fancy with it, but certainly I'd love to help you. Certainly, keep me in mind.
I absolutely will. Well, are you a native Memphian?
Yes, sir. Born and raised here.
And where'd you go to high school? That's a Memphis question.
Well, Memphis question, and I went to Memphis Catholic.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Memphis Catholic.
Well, it's a shame that Memphis Catholic is not Memphis Catholic anymore.
I know that. See, me and you understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it. It took a hard hit. There was Memphis, or what was it? March on McLean. We had a fundraiser going there for a while. I think 3 or 4 years, but didn't hold up. Unfortunately, yeah, it's no longer there.
The program they had, and I forget, they had a really good name for it. Essentially the vocational program, where high school students would intern in various businesses, 2 or 3 days a week, and they kind of structured the curriculum around that. Was a great program, and I think the charter school that took over those buildings, I think, is continuing that. So hopefully that legacy can kind of live on through that charter school.
Certainly, yeah, and I've heard that. Hope so. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, very good.
Yes.
So what do you think the future holds for outdoor living and businesses like yours? What's the prognosis going forward?
I hope it hits a big wave here. I mean, being outdoors is healthy in itself. So if more people are outdoors and enjoying the outdoor space, that creates a healthier future. And I think it's going to continue to grow. I really do. I think it's going to get really, really big. And landscaping behind all the architecture of hardscapes and patios, it's gorgeous. We've done some projects, and I've seen a lot of projects that are on a different scale than what we do, and it looks we're hoping to get to that step. So looking forward to it.
Well, you said you've been in landscaping since you were 14, kind of in and out in different positions. What are the big changes that you've seen over in your career? From a business standpoint, the business of offering landscaping services.
Sure. One of the biggest things I think can change is, and maybe I just didn't pay attention as much as younger, but I think the machinery now. There's a lot more machines being used when seems like when I was that age, it was a lot more manual labor. And we've still got crews that do nothing but manual labor, but it seems like the newer generation are wanting to rent machine. So that certainly has changed. I mean, machines, to an extent, even back then, you had to rent, or own. But I think that the technology is changing on a big scale.
I mean, you talked about outdoor lighting. It really is amazing what you can do, with LED lighting, and it's not like you've got to run underground cables everywhere. A lot of it's wireless. Is that as popular as I think it is?
Yes, sir, it is, and you can get real fancy. They've got different lights and colors you can put in different bulbs at times of year, and it gets real fancy. You can remote it from your cell phone to turn it on and off, and different zones can be on at different times. So that certainly has changed since I was 14 for sure. The technology.
I was going to say, when you were 14, you never thought you would turn on a light with your phone.
No, didn't have a phone.
Yeah, when I was 14, if you said you could turn a light on with your phone, I would pick up something with the cord and say,
right.
"Oh, how am I going to do that?" Yeah, it's amazing, how a lot of professions, in the last 10 years have just completely changed. Being a lawyer is nothing like it was 10 years ago or 20
Sure.
years ago. So much of it is on computers now and electronic. And how does the digital world, you just talked about turning lights on with your phone. How does the digital world impact your business?
It has. I mean, on a Zoom call right now, podcast with you.
Yeah.
This has changed. I mean, the last meeting I've had on something like this was probably an ABC meeting. It was a while back. I think it was during the COVID strike, but I don't do a lot of Zoom and podcast, obviously. But no, I think that technology on the industry has certainly taken off. For the irrigation side, the lighting side, a lot of it has certainly changed.
Do you do, like, you talk about irrigation? Do you do the sprinkler watering systems and that sort of
Yes,
thing?
sir. Yes, sir.
That I looked at that 20 years ago, and it was for me, it was prohibitively expensive. But I would
Sure.
imagine that the technology on that has really helped.
It has, and again, on a cell phone, you can remote from your controller and turn it on or off if you're out of town or even out of country. So yeah, there's a technology on these things. There's the younger generation that's growing through now are certainly helping out in ways that I would have never imagined. Some of these the workers and designs that we use, the imagination that they've got is it's great.
Yeah.
Helps us out.
Well, very good. Well, let me ask you this: what's the toughest thing to keep alive in Memphis? What should I stay away from that? A tree or a grass. What is just a fool's errand to plant?
Lately, I guess it's been arborvitae. That's on my mind. I've had a couple of people call in the past couple of weeks about struggling arborvitae. The pyramidal shaped tree.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of looks like a Christmas tree. I don't know if you're familiar.
I probably know it if I saw one.
It. But an arborvitae, they don't like wet feet. They like to be more, just less water. But I guess that's been, plants alone. You mentioned me struggling right now, but arborvitae, but plants alone are just in high demand and in short supply, which is also going on.
Yeah, I think the supply chain for just about everything is stretched thin. I was at lunch at a well-known restaurant yesterday, and the waiter, first thing he said is, "Let me tell you what I don't have," and it was all pretty run-of-the-mill stuff. And he said, the trucks come in, and we just kind of bite our lip to see what's going to come off the truck and what's not going to come off the truck.
Yeah.
Are you having those similar kind of supply issues with materials?
Materials, yes, sir. And then, when March hit, that cold front and snow that went through has affected our industry in a huge way. All of the nurseries through Texas and Louisiana, they got hit with all that storm, the snow. That was unforeseen, and so the material now, that's the reason it's such a short supply. And they're being grown now are such a small plant that when we're getting them, they're very small. They haven't had time to mature as they normally would have, but they got hit with that storm. So
yeah,
that's going to affect. I've heard it's going to affect possibly maybe even into next year. So hopefully not. We'll see. But
yeah, I hope not. But particularly when you're talking about things that grow and you're going from one season to the next and things need to mature, that may be a 2 or 3 year lag.
That's right. Could be. Hopefully not. Yeah. But it's
having a
slowing
bad
down.
grape harvest. It affects your winery. It affects your vintage 2 or 3, I guess 10 or 12 years down the road, depending on how long you age it.
Sure.
I was going to ask you a follow-up question on that, and it's just it shows you this a live show, folks. It's just completely gone out of my mind. Oh, okay. You talked about I asked you about things that are tough in Memphis. What's a great value? If I'm going to look at doing some landscaping, what's a great value of a plant that is nice, ornamental, and does well in Memphis with moderate sun?
You probably couldn't go wrong with maybe a boxwood native plant. That should work fine. And everybody likes the words low maintenance. So if it's not a whole lot, they want to set it and forget it. So, but boxwood, Laura Pedlam's pretty good. Probably I'm not an expert in that field. We've got design that help out with those things, but yeah, there's several options, I'm sure.
Yeah, I had a tree in my front yard that I don't know, probably an 80, 90-year-old oak tree that over time we had to take down before it fell on the house. And that opened up a big area of sun. And I had some laurel bushes that were growing in front of my patio. And I've been noticing that they've been thinning out and dying. And I think it's because they're getting too much sun right there. So I'm going to need to do something. We need to do something with that area.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We can certainly look into it for you.
All right. Chuck, I really appreciate your time. I think that's all the time we've got. Anything you'd like to say in closing?
Well, no, I'm honored to be on here, Alan. Thanks for having me on. But if you need some help, I'd love to help you, and I know I'll see you soon.
Well, I'll see you soon, and I recommend Chuck and his group to everyone. They do a great job, and what I'm going to challenge everybody to do is go out when you get home. If you're listening to this in the car, or if you're at your house, go look at your backyard and see if there's some opportunity for improvement. Sure. Give Chuck a call. I know that just about all of us could use that. All right. Well, this is Alan Crone. I'm the CEO of the Crone Law Firm. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been delightful for me to talk to Chuck about his business today. And if you've enjoyed it, please share it on social media, email it to your friends and anyone you think might benefit from it. Chuck is going to go and grow beautiful things, and I'm going to go get some justice. So thank you all very much.